What's going on, my loves? Knowledge Butterfly here. Let me fix my collar. Knowledge Butterfly here, and today I actually want to kind of like give you guys some. It's like soul food for thought. However, the video might run longer than it, so I won't specifically say that it's going to be under that particular playlist. However, this is something definitely for you to think of. This is soul food that I'm feeding you. I haven't seen anybody else actually talk about this particular subject. Not saying that no one has. I just haven't seen anything about it, and it's something that's been coming up in my universe. It's been coming up in my universe for over a year. And finally, today, because I got up, just in like one of the best moods ever. And I was listening to Jamaican dance hall. Then I got into Nigerian dance hall. And so I was listening to artists like, of course, Vybz Kartel and Alkaline and Mavado. And then I started getting into some Nigerian with Davido, who has one of my favorite songs, If. If you never heard If, you need to listen to it right now. If has Little John in it from Atlanta. And it just has like it has a part of one of his songs in there. You know how you always say yeah and whatever. So it has that clip in it. But that just shows the Nigerian Atlanta connection or American connection. And so I'm from Atlanta, so of course I absolutely love that shit. And then I was also listening to some other artists. Wizkid, I've listened to him before, but I was listening to some artists that I hadn't actually heard of before. Flavor, Burna Boy, and a female, Yemi Alade from Nigeria. So yeah, I was really getting into that, dancing and having a really good time. And what you will find, which I told y'all before about Abraham Hicks, how I got into her videos over the weekend. And Abraham Hicks talks about when you are actually like not worrying, when you're having a good time and you're enjoying life and life is fun and you're loving what you're doing, you're actually in the vortex. And so when you're in the vortex, it opens up so many things for you. So you have inspiration come to you, just ideas come to you, because the vortex is just full of all that potential. Because think of it like the black hole, like, where the divine mother is. Just think about all that potential, just infinite potential. And so an idea come out of your vortex, and next thing you know, you're shooting a video. So that's what I'm doing today. I know that I started about going on and on talking about my sunrise, my AM, like just how I was dancing and having a good time. And that's the reason for this video. However, like I said, this is a particular topic that I have been thinking about over a course of a year, if not longer than a year. So, first off, let me, as always, send you guys out peace, blessings, love, and abundance out into your universe. Send you some of that energy that I woke up just ready to have a good day. It's a new day, y'all. It's a new day. So, anyway, this video is about getting into the word can, C-A-N, and the connection with that word can and melanated people, the melanated beings of this planet. And when I say melanated, I mean people who they call black. I don't use the word black, because I know that the melanin is not lacking of anything. So I like to say melanated beings. I've actually been saying melanated beings since if not the end of 2016, beginning of 2017. So it's been over a year now, going on 2 years. So anywho's, I definitely want to share this because, like I said, I haven't seen anyone else speaking on this. Not saying no one has. I haven't seen it. And I wanted to make sure that I shared it with you guys. This could possibly be a soul food for thought. However, the way that it's going already, most likely is going to be longer than a soul food for thought, a little bit longer than a soul food for thought. However, it is still soul food for you. It's something for you to digest and take in and see if it resonates with you the way it resonates with me. Even though I had been thinking about this a while and I had gotten that there was a connection with the word can and melanated people across this globe. I hadn't really delved deep. Like my higher self hadn't really revealed to me the connection. And, this is, I always, say this is my perspective. However, I really don't have to explain it because, of course, if it's coming from me, damn it, it's my perspective. It's the way my higher self revealed it to me. So I'm going to share it just the way that it was given to me. All right. Now, so in this universe, we know that there is no such thing as coincidence. Coincidence does not exist. There is no such thing as an accident. Everything happens for a reason. There is always something like a hidden message or hidden meaning behind something that comes from a television show you may watch, to a movie, to music. Like there's symbolism in every single thing, and it includes what you name something. We all know that names are very, very important. Whatever you name your child, they're going to take on those traits and characteristics of that particular name, because everything has a vibration behind it, and that vibration has a frequency behind it. So it's going to take on the structure of that particular name, so that's why those traits, they'll start to act like that name. And so I have been thinking for a while about the names of certain continents and countries that were changed by the European colonists. Why these particular countries and continents had names that had the Ka in it, the Ca, like for instance, the Inuit Ka. So starting with America. Then we have Africa. And when I say America, I'm talking about North and South America. Then we have Africa. Then we have Jamaica. Then we have the Dominican Republic. Then we have Costa Rica. And we have Dominica. And I even included Puerto Rico. And the only reason I included Puerto Rico is because the native people are called Puerto Ricans, not Puerto Ricans, Puerto Ricans. So I wanted to make sure that I included them in this. And so that is basically 7 different lands on this planet, which are countries and continents, because Africa, of course, is a continent. And America, a lot of people like to say America is a country. They call America a country, but also it is a continent. North and South America are continents. So I definitely wanted to get into what I felt, what I feel is the reason behind these lands and these people having the Ka, the CA, ending in CA, in the titles, in the names of those lands. Now, also, why are the people from these particular parts of the world called names that end in can? For instance, American, African, Jamaican, Dominican, Costa Rican, Puerto Rican. Why are we called cans? Okay, where did that come from? So I actually came up with it's gonna seem like 3 different reasons, but it's not different. To me, it all ties in together. I'm gonna talk about them separately. However, they are all related to one another. Okay, they're all kin to one another. All right. So let's get into it. So one of the first things that came to me was in the biblical sense of can. The biblical sense of can would be descendants of Canaan, and Canaan is spelled Canaan. And if you're familiar with the Bible, he was a son of Ham, that was cursed to be a servant of servants in Genesis 9. So chapter 9, verses 20 through 27. Chapter 9, verses 20 through 27, he was the son of Ham. And Canaan, his descendants were cursed to be the servant of servants. Okay, so when you think about that, you automatically think about the slavery that took place and which is still taking place all over this planet, against the melanated beings on this planet. You think about American slavery. You think about slavery in South America, and I'm talking about North and South America when I say American slavery, because just like it happened here in the South, as they like to say here, and where I'm born and raised from, it also occurred in South America. It also occurred in the Caribbean, in Jamaica, and the Dominican Republic, Haiti, Cuba, all over. And of course, it also occurred in countries in Africa. And of course, other parts of the world as well. I'm just going to particularly just talk about the Can factor to it, all right? And the Canaan factor to it. So some say that the descendants of Canaan were marked with black skin and cursed to be servants of servants. Okay, this stems from Cain, who God put a mark on his body to protect him from danger. So this would mean that various melanated people in these parts of the world were given the Can ending in their names to denote being descendants of the biblical Cain, Ham, and Canaan. Okay. And people say that the mark that God put on Cain. Now, we all know that this is an allegory. This is not real people that existed. However, I'm speaking to you as to the symbolism behind these biblical fictional characters and how that relates to melanated people, the melanated connection to these people. All right. So, they say that Cain, like I said, he was given a black mark in order to protect him. It was a form of protection against people who might try to kill him, right? So that would mean that all of Cain's descendants, which stem from Ham as well, and then went on to Canaan, would have black skin. All right? So that would mean that the people from the continent of Africa, who they call Africans, the North and South Americans, the Jamaicans, the Puerto Ricans, the Costa Ricans, the Dominicans, that would mean that all of them have that connection. And this is not saying that we do not have melanated people that lived in Europe and that came from there and from China and from India and from Australia and just from all parts of the world, because we know that we are indigenous everywhere. However, I'm just telling you that I truly think that the reason why they chose, not the reason why they chose, but the reason why these particular names have Can in them is because of that connection. All right. Now, also, we know that, like, for instance, the name America, the Ameri part, Ameri, stems from Amerigo Vespucci. I think that's how you pronounce his name. And that's where the Ameri part came from. Okay? That doesn't explain the Ka, because his name was not America. His name was Amerigo. So they didn't name this country Amerigo, or this continent, or the two continents Amerigo. They named it America. So just think about that, the Ka. All right? And I'm going to get into more. The next thing I'm going to get into has to do with the Ka, okay, and the letter C as a whole. Now, so the second thing that I looked at was the letter C. The letter C actually derives from the letter K, meaning that the letter C is not an original letter. That is something that came into play from the English. That is why words that have a C in them, a lot of them or most of them have the K sound. Okay, can has a K sound. There's really no C sound, just to think, if you really think about it. Okay, Ka, kite, what am I, just trying to think of some other words right now that does not come into play. Cat, yeah, let me not even work on getting into words that have the sound, the Ka sound, but yeah, the letter C derives from the letter K, and I think it comes from the Greek alphabet Kappa, or Greek letter Kappa, from that alphabeta. So when you think about C, think about it like the letter J. It really wasn't a letter that was in existence, during ancient times when they actually started to come up with, when the ancients came up with letters and alphabetas and words and languages. Okay, the linguistics, that part, none of that was, of course, in the beginning, because in the beginning we didn't use alphabetas or alphabets. However, when alphabets and languages started to come about, C was not a part of that. All right, so it derived from the letter C. Okay, so this would mean that we should actually substitute the words that have the letter C in it for the letter K. So now, if we were to replace in the names that I just that I just spoke of, that identify people from certain parts of the world, and we were to replace the C with a K in that, then you would get can as KAN. And so when we look at KAN instead of CA, we get Ka. Okay? Ka. And if you know what Ka is, KA, the Ka spirit is something that you think about when you think about Egyptian culture, the ancients in Egypt, or Kemet. Okay? Now, what is the Ka spirit? The Ka spirit is thought of as the life force received by man from the gods. It's the Egyptians called or saw death as going to one's Ka. And some of the tombs were made with houses for the Ka spirit to reside in. Okay, and the Ka is also seen as the Christ within, the Christ energy, the Ka rest, the immortal spirit in man. And of course, we know that this spirit, with the melanated people being the first humans on this planet, on this plane, specifically the melanated woman. However, the melanated woman, and man were the first humans on this planet. So in order to connect and show that we're all connected, what better way to hide it in plain sight than to put the Ka behind America, Jamaica, Costa Rica, and so on and so forth. What better way to show that connection in plain sight, but to hide it at the same time, than to actually put Ka in the name of these countries and continents, Africa? What better way to show that we're all connected to the same source? Okay, that life force energy, that infinite immortal energy, that timeless ageless energy that does not have a beginning and does not have an end. Okay. Now, so this also with the Ka energy, this spirit is just a quick little knowledge. This spirit is the part of us that gains knowledge through each incarnation, and also gains experience from each form that it takes on. So when you think of the Ka, just think of your true essence, your true being. And it's, like I said, showing the connection with the people, the melanated peoples of this plane, and that, and putting the Ka in each one of the names. However, to kind of hide it, you change the K, to a C. Okay. Now, the third thing. Why turn Ka into Can? So what is the definition of Can, C-A-N? And let's talk about that. So there are, of course, different definitions, and I'm going to give you a few of them. All right. So first we're going to go with the verb meaning, be able to. So I can run fast. Be permitted to. Now, or be permitted to is my mom. I'm just giving you sentences. My mom said I can go to the party. Now, when you think of the being permitted to do something, and this is usually used in the English language, this means that you're asking for permission. Being permitted, you ask for permission to do something. So it's literally kind of like putting people in their place, saying you have to ask for permission to do anything, which means someone else has authority over you. Okay. Now, the second meaning that our definition for can, the word can, is a cylindrical metal container, a garbage can, a tin can, aluminum can, to contain something. Okay. That's the second meaning. So you're containing something in a can. You're keeping something, under your authority, and telling it what, when it can and can't do something. All right. You're literally containing, and also think about it like you're really containing the true spirit of those beings. You're keeping it contained so that they don't know who they are, so that they don't grow and flourish into what they were meant to be, into the very essence of who they are, their true nature, their true selves, not being this human body. You're already contained into a human body, then you want to contain them into another. It's like those little what they call those dolls, that are in the, when you keep opening up different ones and keep opening them up, and then you have smaller and smaller and smaller ones. For some reason, the name of it's not coming to me right. Nesting dolls. Nesting dolls. It's like a nesting doll. You have it. You have part of it in one, and it's like the mind is which to me signifies the mind of melanated. I mean, people as a whole. However, for melanated people, because a lot of melanated people do not know the origins of this human form that they are contained in. And if they knew the origins of the human form, then you would dig deeper and deeper. That's why at the beginning of your spiritual awakening, the first thing you come in contact with, or that you become aware of, is what it means to be a melanated person. That the persecution and the hate upon melanated beings, you start to get that none of that shit really none of that shit is really true, as far as the things that they said about you, that it all stem from a place of hate, and in order to keep you from, and also in order to keep you from having an understanding of the importance of melanin, and that melanin has been here since the beginning of this shit, and the strength and importance of melanin. Because if you knew the importance of melanin, you wouldn't hate yourself, and you wouldn't hate people that look like you. So that's why when you first wake up, the first nesting doll that comes off is the physical importance of melanin. Then when you keep going deeper into yourself, you pull off another nesting doll, and you go deeper into yourself, and it pulls off another, and there's another one. And so as you keep going deeper and deeper and deeper, it keeps getting smaller and smaller and smaller till you get to your true essence, to your true being. That's why when I first became conscious, I was reading all this information about all the ancient civilizations that were actually melanated beings, and then seeing the connection with it to my physical being and my physical self. Okay, then I started to get more deeper into self. So I went and penetrated another layer, just like your skin. This is your epidermis or whatever, the outside of your skin, and you start going deeper and deeper into each layer until you get, down to the bone, to the root of it. You know what I'm saying? So that and so now I'm literally over here, even though I'm still talking about the melanated connection, because all of that still makes sense and all of that still connected. And this subject actually came to me when I was more on the surface level, just at the beginning, when I had first pulled off that first cover and got into the first layer of the nesting doll. Well, left the first layer, the surface level, and got into the first internal layer of the nesting doll. I, this had come into my mind. However, obviously, it was meant for a time like this, where I would have more knowledge of self, my true self, before I could explain it, so that I could explain it on a level where it's not just on the surface level, but it's digging into the spiritual, because the Ka is the spirit. That's the spiritual connection between all the melanated beings on this planet. That life force energy that connects us to all, to everything, to the ether, to the timeless, ageless, divine source of it all. So just always remember, guys, that words mean things. So when you want to identify yourself or put yourself into a category, okay, of saying that I'm American, I'm Jamaican, it's nothing wrong with having a sense of pride from the land you come from. Just know that can on the end of it is to keep you contained, to keep you stuck and separated from your true being. It's really to keep a separation between the melanated beings. That's why me listening to the different types of music this AM actually inspired me to actually go deeper into the meaning of why we're called cans. To really get into it. Had I not listened to Jamaican dance hall, then I went over to Nigerian dance hall, and then even came back, and before I record this video, I actually had found out yesterday that Mac Miller, because I haven't really been into this pop culture stuff, had separated myself from a lot of that, because a lot of it is the majority of it is a distraction. 99.999% of it is a fucking distraction. So I had found out that on September the 7th of this year, Mac Miller, the rapper, had actually transitioned. Now, Mac Miller is, considered to be a European or white artist. However, he was into hip-hop music, and I actually came into knowledge of Mac Miller back last year when I got into his album called, I think it's called The Divine Feminine. And I was drawn to it because he was talking about the feminine. The name of it was talking about the feminine aspects, and it was actually really perfect for a time like this because we're getting back into getting the divine feminine energy rising back up so it can balance with the divine masculine energy, because the divine masculine energy had overpowered and had overtaken and overshadowed the divine feminine energy. So I was listening to the song "We" featuring CeeLo, which I love, which is one of my favorites, and then my second favorite on the album is called "God Is Fair, Sexy Nasty," and that one has Kendrick Lamar in it. So I was just listening to CeeLo from Atlanta and listening to the Kendrick Lamar, and of course listening to Mac Miller too, but just listening to, you know, the sound that comes from them, and then the sound that came from the Nigerian artist, and the sound that came from the Jamaican artist, and just how all that shit is tied in. Why you might have a little bit of a different sound, because you might have that calypso beat going into the Nigerian and the Jamaican shit. However, if you really like listen to melanated artists, the Outcasts and things of that nature, you just really see the full connection of that spirit, how that spirit is still the same, and that how that same spirit flows through all of us. That is why we're all connected, and that's why it's nothing wrong with seeing the differences. However, we have a tendency to celebrate the differences and always look for the differences. Look for the similarities. That can is there for a reason. That can is letting you know that we are all one. And we shouldn't get so stuck into the separation. Why do you think we be like, what's up? What's going on? And then you got, you know, Jamaicans and Nigerians talking about that wagwan. You know what I'm saying? That shit is the same. It's no different. It's just like when you look at the fact of how when I went to Jamaica, they love playing poker. And then they also love playing dominoes. I learned how to play dominoes in Jamaica. So I think about how the fact here, you know, in Atlanta, we play a lot of spades. You know what I'm saying? We play a lot of card games too, but mainly spades. And niggas be getting heated over spades. Niggas get heated over poker. Niggas get heated over dominoes. It's the same shit. It's still numbers, niggas. You're a number. It's still numbers. It's the same thing. It's that same life force. It's that same spirit. However, we're playing it in a game form. But it's still tied to who we are, our divine nature, our life force energy, our true essence, our true being, which is the Ka spirit. So I just had to make sure I did this video because, you know, like I said, for a long time, I have been asking myself, what the hell? Why the hell do all of us have that can at the end of it? Why are we Kas and cans? Why? Think about it's pronounced America, Jamaica. It's not pronounced America or Jamaica like can. It's pronounced Ka. America, Jamaica, Puerto Rico. Well, Puerto Rico is Rico, but it's Puerto Rican. It's Puerto Rican when they talk about the native people. However, Costa Rica, all that has a Ka at the end of it. It's not pronounced with the CA like the can sound. It's pronounced with the Ka. So think about that, my loves. You know, like I said, that's some soul food for thought. Even though this is not the length of a soul food for thought video, like a quick video, it's still soul food for thought. Everything that I provide for you is soul food. It is something in order to nourish your spirit, you know, to help you grow and elevate, growing and glowing. That's, well, oh, I bit my, ow. Growing and glowing is what that's about. It's okay. It'll heal. But yeah, just remember that. Like, don't ever let yourself continue to keep yourself contained in those nesting dolls. Never think that you have reached the last layer. Keep taking layers off of that nesting doll. Keep going deeper and deeper and deeper inside of yourself, and look for the truth, because the truth is in you. You know what I'm saying? So, anywho's, I'm gonna end the video on that note, my loves. I know and I trust that this information that I have provided you today is nourishment to your soul. And so, you know, I'm gonna say you guys need to go and hit that like on this video. Also, you can add any comments if you feel like you have any more information to add to this. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel so you can continue to get notifications when I post a video or upload a video, you know. And also, go ahead and, you know, follow my Instagram page, Knowledge Butterfly, and my Facebook page, Knowledge Butterfly, at Empress Rostar. Empress Rostar. Okay. I love you guys so much. I really and truly do. I appreciate you so much. And I am grateful for, everybody who is a subscriber on my channel, and everybody who is also taking the time out to watch my videos and like it, because all that's doing is sending me love energy. Every time you do that, that is currency. That's the last thing I'm going to say. Everything, all energy is currency. That what that we've been programmed and conditioned to think is that it's only in the tangible, that paper is the only currency that form of currency that exists. However, everything is currency. So either you're adding to somebody or you're subtracting to them. The energy that subtracts from people, which I'll probably do, I might do a video about this. The energy that subtracts from people is when you speak and you gossiping about them and speaking negative. You actually subtracting from your own self, from your own bank account. You know what I'm saying? That's when you starting to take away from self. But you're adding to yourself and to others' accounts when you are sending them out the love energy and the love frequency. So when you're liking the videos and subscribing, and you're posting like healthy comments, like it don't have to be necessarily that you agree, but you can comment that I'll let that resonate, I'll let that marinate, type of thing. Also subscribing to people's channels and following them. All of that is energy. All that is you like giving them currency. So like I said, I really do appreciate and I'm very grateful, very, very grateful for the people who have taken the time out to look at my videos, because it's nothing but love that comes from me. And I may not always be like this chipper, happy, whatever. However, at the same time, we're all everything. I just make sure when I shoot my videos, for the most of the time, you're getting this part of me. However, and that's because I want you to get the best of me, and I know that I'm at my best when I am at my when my inspired self is on the forefront, on the surface, So again, guys, I really do love you and I really do appreciate you. Have a great day, my loves. Peace.